Hello and welcome to another video on this channel. My name is Dinkar and you are watching Indian FIA. Today we are going to make the mushroom peas curry. It's a very simple recipe, another Indian curry, easy to make, very few ingredients and it's a vegetarian dish. So without wasting any time, let's get started. For the mushroom curry we will use 1 onion, 2 tomatoes, a small piece of ginger and 5 to 6 cloves of garlic. We will finely chop our onions and you can see my onion is well chopped here. Now it's time for our tomatoes. We will make a fine gravy from our tomatoes. So I will simply cut my tomatoes into 4 pieces and put it in the mixer grinder. I will also include the garlic and ginger to this grinder. I'm going to use some green chilies as well. I'm using 3 green chilies here, but it's totally up to you and your tolerance to the spice level. I like my food to be a bit spicy, so I'm using 3 green chilies, but you can skip this as well. I will quickly grind my tomatoes, garlic, ginger and green chilies and make a fine paste out of it. So at this stage my onions are ready, my tomatoes are ready and it's time for our mushroom. I'm using 1 pound mushroom hairs and I bought it from Real Canadian. The first step is to clean this mushroom really well. Mushrooms are usually very dirty and there is a lot of dirt particles stick to the top of this mushroom. So you should rub your mushroom really well in the water and let it rest for few minutes. I'm using the warm water here and it will help me in cleaning the mushroom. Once your mushroom is cleaned well and it's dry, it's time to cut the mushroom. There are multiple ways to cut the mushroom. You can cut your mushroom into thin slices just like this, or you can cut your mushroom into 4 equal pieces. It's totally up to you, but I am cutting my mushroom into 4 pieces and as you can see my mushroom is also ready to go. Along with my mushroom I'm using green peas here. I'm using the frozen peas and I have washed it really well. Now all of my ingredients are ready to go. So it's time to cook. I'm using a kadai here and here goes our vegetable oil. You can also use desi ghee, butter, olive oil or any other cooking oil. Once your oil is hot, it's time to add some cumin seeds here. As you can see my cumin seeds are already popping, so I will start adding the onions to this oil. Now you have to cook these onions well in order to make a fine gravy out of this. I will keep stirring my onions until they change their color to brown. If your onions are sticking to the bottom, you can use some water here and keep stirring your onions. Water really helps here in further cooking as it saves our onion from sticking to our pan. So keep using the water until this onion gets dark brown in color. Once your onion reaches this stage where they are brown in color, it's time to add some spices. The first spice I'm going to add here is turmeric powder. I'm using around half a tablespoon of turmeric powder. Along with my turmeric powder, I'm using red chili powder here. I'm using 1 tablespoon of red chili powder. This red chili powder is very spicy and if you can't tolerate the spicy food, you can simply reduce this quantity. I will mix these spices really well and keep stirring my onions along my spices. After around 30 seconds, once your spices are well cooked, it's time to add our tomato paste with these onions. I will use some water for the leftovers. Once our tomatoes are in, it's time to add the table salt to the recipe. I'm using around 2 tablespoons of table salt here. Now I'm going to cover this mixture and let it cook until my mixture releases all its water and it start releasing oil from it. You have to keep stirring this mixture periodically, otherwise it may stick to the bottom. So once your mixture releases most of its water, it's time to add some spices here. The first spice I am going to add here is coriander powder. I'm using almost 1.5 tablespoon of coriander powder. Next goes our cumin powder. I'm using almost half a tablespoon of cumin powder here. Next goes Kitchen King masala. Guys, this Kitchen King masala is a blend of many other Indian spices, so I will highly suggest you to have this spice at home and use it in this recipe. I'm using almost 1 tablespoon of Kitchen King masala. And guys, if you don't know about Indian spices, you can check out my this video where I have explained about all the Indian spices which you will ever need at home. So go check out about Indian spices after watching this video. As you can see, my masala is almost ready here. So now it's time to add some yogurt. I'm using almost 2 spoons of yogurt here, which we have to whisk really well. We have to remove all the lumps from the yogurt and keep stirring it until it gets silky smooth. Once my yogurt is ready, I am going to add this to my mixture. I will add some water to the leftover yogurt. Now it's time to mix everything really well. You have to keep stirring it for at least 30 to 40 seconds so that our yogurt get really well with all the spices and our mixture. So once everything is ready, it's time to add our mushroom. I will add all our mushroom here. And now it's time to mix again. Once your mushroom is well mixed with all the masala, it's time to add our green peas here. I will mix this green peas as well, and now I'm going to cover this to let it cook for few more minutes. Till this stage we are not going to add any water to this mixture because our mushroom will release its own water. So we will let this mixture cook in all the water that's released by the mushroom. You just have to keep stirring it periodically, but keep it covered so that everything gets cooked well. As you can see, my mushroom has released a lot of water here, but I will continue the cooking process until all this water is released by our mushroom. You have to keep stirring this really well until all the water from our mushroom is evaporated. As you can see, our water is reduced now, so I'm going to add some garam masala at this stage. After giving it a good stir, I'm going to add some water here. Guys, we have to use the boiling water at this stage, and it will make a really fine gravy out of this mixture. You can increase or decrease the quantity of water as per your liking, and you can adjust the consistency of your curry. My curry is a tiny bit thick here, so I'm going to add some more water to this mixture. So after giving it a good mix, I'm going to cover this mushroom pea curry and let it cook for 5 more minutes. Guys, our mushroom curry is fully ready. This curry is absolutely amazing and you would love to make this curry at home. I would suggest you all to try this curry at home and let me know how it was. This curry tastes really good and you would love to share this curry with your family. Hope you like this video. Subscribe my channel for more such Indian dishes. Check out my other videos and keep cooking at home. See you guys in the next video. Goodbye.